What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. As always, I am so excited to have you guys here. If you're new here, hello, welcome. My name's Claire and I'm super passionate about all things health, wellness, and just living a healthy and balanced lifestyle. And on my channel, I love sharing healthy meal ideas and just general health and wellness content. So if that is something you're interested in, definitely click the subscribe button. As always, just a really quick disclaimer before we get into the video. I love making these videos to give you guys some meal ideas or inspiration, and I do my best to get everything on camera, but there are always snacks, second helpings, and extra drizzles of tahini that I just don't get a chance to film. With that being said, I know we are all super excited to get into the food, so let's just get into the video. And now that we're officially into fall, I've been making a big batch of my stewed apples at the beginning of each week. I just cooked down some apples with cinnamon and a little splash of water. And then you guys have seen me make my oatmeal so many times on this channel, but I will put the full recipe in the description box below. And I just top that off with some apples, hemp seeds, peanut butter, and some cinnamon. For lunch, I made some avocado toast and topped it with my homemade pickles. The recipe for these are a few videos back, so I will link that for you guys. And then I just sauteed up some mushrooms and tempeh in soy sauce, topped it off with some red onions, and that was my lunch.
You in the backyard of your old farm in the summer. Stayed there for 3 weeks where we learned to love each other.
And for dinner, I decided to make a big batch of khichdi. I love making a big batch of this, and then there's lots for leftovers. So I just started by sauteing some spices in coconut oil. I also added some mung beans, rice, water, and I let that cook down for about 20 minutes. While that was cooking, I just chopped up my veggies. I added those to the pot and let it cook for about another 20 to 30 minutes, and then added my salt. Of course, the full recipe for this will be in the description box below. This is one of my favorite fall dinners. It is so cozy and warming, and it's great because you can use up whatever veggies you have on hand. I also had some tofu in the fridge, so I decided to add that to my bowl as well, along with some sauerkraut, and then of course a generous drizzle of tahini. Yeah, that was a very cozy dinner. And of course, I wanted something sweet after, so for dessert, I just had some dates and peanut butter. And for dinner on Tuesday, I made one of my go-to favorite meals right now. It is a tofu and noodle stir fry. I just started by chopping up a bunch of veggies. I did red onion, red pepper, bok choy, and broccoli. I just started by adding some coconut oil to my pan and sauteing down my onions. While those were cooking down, I just made my sauce really quickly with soy sauce, rice vinegar, honey, garlic powder, and peanut butter. I added the rest of my veggies to my pan and I just cooked those down for a few minutes. I also added some tofu that I had just been marinating in soy sauce. I added my noodles along with my sauce and just gave everything a really good toss to warm it all through. When I went to plate it, I realized that I didn't add any lime juice to my sauce, so I just squeezed some on top, plated it all up, and that was my dinner on Tuesday. And of course, on Wednesday, I just made up some oatmeal again for breakfast. But lately, I've been putting blackstrap molasses on my oatmeal. If you guys ever had gingerbread molasses cookies growing up, it definitely reminds me of that. It is so good. So I would highly recommend putting that on top of your oatmeal. And then for lunch, I just had some more of my khichdi. I also cooked up some tempeh to have on the side. And then for dinner, we actually ended up going out for dinner. So of course, I started with a margarita and we got these amazing appetizers. They were some cauliflower bites, and then we also got these amazing nachos that had like a barbecue jackfruit pulled pork situation on them. I also got some tacos, and then we actually went to Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so this was so exciting. And of course, I got a butterbeer.
No need to give it up, just need to let it go. And if it's so obvious, just let it show.
And on Thursday, I ended up just having more oatmeal for breakfast and some of the khichdi for lunch, so I didn't even end up filming my lunch. I've been in a little bit of a repetitive rut with some of my meals. I am trying to get a little bit more adventurous because I do really like trying out new recipes and just experimenting in the kitchen. So hopefully future videos will have a little bit more exciting meals. But moving on to dinner, I made one of my other favorite meals, which is just a bunch of roasted vegetables. I just cut up some squash, onion, and seasoned those with coconut oil, honey, salt, and pepper. I also cut up some carrots and seasoned them the same way. And then for my broccoli, I seasoned it with coconut oil, salt, pepper, and some garlic powder. And I usually just roast those in the oven just until they're fork tender. While my veggies were roasting, I also just cooked up some tempeh and seasoned that with some soy sauce. And to serve, I just added some sauerkraut, of course. And then for a dressing, I just mixed some sauerkraut brine and tahini. It just makes a really quick and easy dressing. And yeah, that was my dinner.
There's nowhere else that I should be. There's nowhere else that I should be.
And for lunch on Friday, I made a chickpea omelet or a chickpea crepe. I'm not really sure what to call this, but I just mixed up some chickpea flour, garlic powder, smoked paprika, egg, and some water. I added some coconut oil to a pan and just poured in my batter, and I just spread that so that it was a nice thin layer across the pan. I also added in some of the leftover veggies from the night before and some frozen kale that I just microwaved. I served that up with some kimchi and tahini, and that was my lunch. And for dinner, I decided to just make some homemade sushi hand rolls. I just started by spreading some rice on nori sheets. I also added some avocado, and then I cooked some tempeh and mushrooms in soy sauce. I also added some of the leftover squash, kimchi, and of course some of the tahini. And then I only cut them in half just because my rolling skills are not that good. And if I cut them into individual sushi pieces, they normally just end up falling apart. And I just served those up with a few extra pieces of squash that I had left over, and that was my dinner. That does bring us to the end of the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and got some meal ideas or inspiration. As always, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!